or by expelling and retention of the breath. We're talking about bringing the mind into a state of focused tranquility. We're concerned with mind-body practices which deal with a scattered mind, with having a scattered mind. We're not talking about spiritual insight here. We've lost sight of samadhi. We've temporarily lost the way as spiritual practitioners. So the best thing we can do is get on with some constructive practices. And these are practices which help negate any negative mood we might be in. All these practices have a similar tone, and they're all to do with looking for what is positive and bringing that into our focus and resting in it. Now this one is to do with the breath, and people would normally interpret this as pranayama exercises, and you can certainly take it that way if you wish. But my approach to these sutras is to practice them from moment to moment where possible. And the breathing is something that's always going on. I was watching a television thriller recently, and I was noticing how my breathing was being affected. We're told here that we can deal with a distracted mind by expelling and retention of the breath. Well, very often we hold the breath. Very often we hold our breath in, especially when we're tense. So we can just let it out. And when we let the breath out, we can really let it out. Not holding anything back. Let the breathing out right down to the abdomen. And in fact, when we're thinking of breathing in this case, that's what we should focus on, the abdomen. Let the breathing out and you relax the abdomen. And retention of the breath, I couldn't quite get the right word here, because we normally think of retention as breathing in and holding the breath. But what we're talking about here, what's really meant here, is not breathing in too quickly or too soon. This is the mirror image to the first one of letting the breath out. We don't breathe in too quickly. If we don't have our shallow breathing in the chest, breathe from the abdomen, and don't breathe in too soon. Let the outgoing breath relax. And when it's time to breathe in, the body will breathe in. Let the body breathe in, not your anxieties. Don't let your anxieties be breathing for you. Let the body. So just a little bit of awareness on your breathing, which you can do at any time. Even in the middle of an office meeting, you can sit there watching your breath. Watch to see if you're holding it, in which case you can let it go. Let it expel from the bottom of your abdomen. And take your time about breathing in again. In fact, it might even help to forcibly not breathe in for a while. And you'll find that you can do that quite comfortably. And what this is doing is, it's focusing the mind on the breathing. It's focusing the mind on relaxing. And this is tranquility. It's a practice of focused tranquility. Sutra 35 gives us another option, or by focusing on a creative activity which engages the mind. Again, we can turn to anything. We have lost the plot. We know we're not where we should be as spiritual practitioners, we accept this situation, we're finding it difficult to come back to samadhi. The mind is scattered. Our moods are in control. We're caught up in some mood. Turn to any activity which calms the mind. It might be listening to music. It might be a hobby. It doesn't have to be anything that you would traditionally associate with yoga. It could be going down to the gym, having a workout. It could be your asana practices. It could be some Tai Chi. It could be making a model. Anything which focuses the mind in a way which is conducive to settling it, to tranquility. Or when the heart is set on being luminescent and free from sorrow. There's always this possibility of lightness. Even when you're feeling rather grim, there's some kind of light there, lightness there that you can look to. Don't look for it in your mind though, look for it in your body, some pleasant sensation. You could even look for it in the region of the heart, or look for it in the region of the traditional chakras, what I call emotional centers. Look for a good feeling in your body or in yourself. If you've got the habit of being negative, of being grumpy, of being irritable, you can see that that's a habit, and you can look beyond it if your heart is set on doing so. There's no point in trying to do this if you're determined to be grumpy or whatever. But very often, especially in the rich West, where we've got so much and people are so unhappy, there's no excuse for being miserable. So let's look beyond these habits of being miserable and look for something positive, or even imagine a pleasant light that you can focus on. So this is a resolve, a pleasant resolve to not give in to moods of habitual negativity, because very often that's all it is. It's just a habit without any real basis. So let's look beyond that habit. Let's break that habit. See that it's got no basis, and be happy. Be happy.